Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, President of the ECOWAS Commission, the Right Honorable Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament, the Right Honorable Speaker of Uwemua Parliament, the President of the ECOWAS Court of Justice, Minister for Foreign Affairs of Ghana and Chairperson of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers, Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Commissioners of the ECOWAS Commission, members of the ECOWAS Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, fellow West Africans, ladies and gentlemen. I thank Mr. Speaker, the Right Honorable Sidia Mohammed Tunis, for the invitation to participate in the 2021 First Ordinary Session of the 5th Legislature of our Community Parliament. It must be rare to get the opportunity to address the parliaments of the African Union and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, within the short space of 3 days. I'm fortunate to have been accorded this privilege, and I thank the speakers of both parliaments for this exceptional occurrence. As a former member of Parliament, having served in the Ghanaian Parliament of the Fourth Republic for 12 consecutive years, I feel very much at home here with you. Even though the exalted title of the President of the Republic of Ghana is one that sits very well with me, as you can appreciate. Nonetheless, it goes without saying that Parliament remains one of the principal pillars of our community's integration process, whose purpose is to promote consultation and dialogue as embodied by our regional parliamentary institution. It is important, therefore, that I acknowledge the presence of honorable speakers of the National Assemblies of ECOWAS member states, as well as heads of national and international institutions and diplomatic missions, who are with us today, and who by their presence are expressing their great solidarity with this community initiative. Mr. Speaker, this is the first time since the outbreak of COVID-19 that the ECOWAS Parliament is having an in-person session, and rightly so. COVID-19, nevertheless, is still with us, and its impact very visible even amongst us, with the wearing of face masks and maintaining distance from one another. The number of people who have contracted the virus globally has passed the 100 million mark, with 3 million deaths, including some 6,000 of our citizens in ECOWAS. This disease has had adverse effects on all aspects of development. It has succeeded in wiping out the relative economic progress recorded by our region over the past decade. And with most of our economies still largely dependent on the production and export of raw materials, we're witnessing a drastic reduction in the prices of commodities because of the contraction in global demand. Africa, and particularly our region, have seen mercifully a relatively favorable picture in terms of mortality rate as compared to other parts of the world. We should continue to thank Almighty God for His continuing mercies. We must, however, continue to remain vigilant in the face of this virus and its multiple invariants. And that is why we must continue to encourage our populations, regardless of their sensibilities, to respect the protective measures and get vaccinated so we can guarantee a rapid return to normalcy. We are at the same time hopeful that together with the international community, we will very soon be able to make the vaccines available to all in West Africa in order to ensure a coordinated and effective end to this pandemic. We must nevertheless encourage countries within our community, like Senegal and Ghana, that have taken steps to develop the capacity to produce their own vaccines and others within the larger African Union to this end, so that we can more effectively deal with future pandemics and not be dependent on foreign supplies and benevolence for the protection of our peoples. In this respect, Mr. Speaker, I'm glad to see that you and your colleagues continue to stress the need for West Africa's leaders, stakeholders, and indeed the entire world to tackle collectively COVID-19 through increased vaccination and other interventions. We either succeed together or we perish together. Mr. Speaker, in addition to this health crisis, our other great preoccupation must be the fight against terrorism, which is afflicting our region and the world. Despite our best efforts at dealing with this menace, there are persistent attempts to destabilize several countries of the community through attacks on state symbols, civilian populations, and military bases, as has been the case recently in Niger, Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and right here in Nigeria. We're all agreed that peace and security, as well as safeguarding the democratic institutions of member states, are today a major challenge for our region. We cannot sufficiently reiterate the importance of peace and stability to the growth and development of our region. It is important that we consolidate our efforts in rooting out terrorism and threats of terrorism in West Africa. Apart from our people living in constant fear and uncertainty, we cannot expect to attract the requisite levels of investment should this state of insecurity persist. We must take more rigorous and coordinated measures to ensure that we end terrorism in the community. In the same vein, we must pay equal attention to bringing an end to the insecurity in our maritime space in the Gulf of Guinea, which is today the greatest hotbed of piracy in the entire world. This is not a reputation we deserve, and we must work together urgently to change the narrative. Mr. Speaker, it is well acknowledged that Africa is a blessed continent. Our region in particular is one of the major reservoirs of the richest natural resources in the world. Nevertheless, the preconditions for their development, as I have mentioned earlier, peace and security, but also those of democracy and good governance. It is thus critical that you, parliamentarians, endeavor to undertake programs and activities that will help curb the scourge of terrorism, insurgents, banditry, and piracy. The community expects you to use your relations to help attain the desired results. The climate crisis is also wrecking lives and livelihoods and disproportionately affecting the poor and the most vulnerable in society. It is a challenge we must not only confront head-on, but from one which we must emerge as victorious. It is vital that we in the community are united in action and scale up the solutions that deliver green jobs and resilient livelihoods. In furtherance of this, our founding fathers deemed it necessary not only to create ECOWAS, but also to establish a community parliament to serve as one of the main organs of the community. The setting up of this legislative body, therefore, was meant to accentuate the defense and promotion of the principles of democracy in the community through the exchange of deliberations, experiences, and interactions of parliamentarians. It is also intended to be an area for expressing the divergent views of our fellow citizens, no matter what the differences may be. This is to ensure, on the one hand, that their interests are defended, and on the other, to promote consensus decision-making in order to strengthen regional cohesion. Furthermore, the ECOWAS Parliament should, on behalf of its constituents, exercise oversight functions over the sectoral activities as well as the institutions and agencies of the community, for the coherent functioning of the community. Parliament should ensure the effective and efficient use of community resources for the well-being of our peoples. In this light, Parliament is an essential democratic institution and ought to be at the forefront of the fight against bad governance and anti-democratic tendencies. There is thus the urgent need to equip Parliament with the necessary powers in order to heighten the performance of its responsibilities. We have to make best efforts to strengthen Parliament. Article 18 of the Supplementary Act, relating to the enhancement of the powers of the ECOWAS Parliament, stimulates in paragraph 1 that our goal should be that, and I quote, as did the Right Honourable Speaker, representatives shall be elected by direct universal suffrage by the citizens of member states, unquote. We should all agree that election by direct universal suffrage will give true legitimacy to the institution and at the same time foster the requirement of accountability to our peoples. It will be a bold step in the realization of our resolve to move from an ECOWAS of states to an ECOWAS of peoples. I wish to state my firm commitment and support for any proposal leading to direct election of members of the Community Parliament. Recently, we have continued to observe elections across member states. Reports and recommendations from observer missions, of which members of Parliament are essential parts, indicate that there are a lot of challenges and improvements to be made to our electoral systems. Our democracies are young and still fragile, and therefore may not escape the hurdles being witnessed at the moment. Drawn more towards optimism, I have confidence that we will surmount them. A lot, though, depends on the holding of free, fair, and credible elections, for which we must continue to strive to perfect. Peace, stability, growth, and development are all offshoots of a society with strong and credible electoral systems and strong institutions. I charge every citizen and stakeholder of this great community to make polling exercises honorable by adhering to the principles of mutual respect and fairness. I cannot make this speech without referring to the unfortunate developments in one of our member states, that of Mali, in which ECOWAS has invested so much of its political and material capital. As current chairman of the authority, I authorized an ECOWAS delegation comprising the high-level mediator of the Malian crisis, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan, the chair of the Council of ECOWAS Ministers, the Ghana's Foreign Minister, the Honorable Shirley Ayokobuche, and the President of the ECOWAS Commission, His Excellency Jean-Claude Brou, to go immediately to Bamako to assess the situation and report back to me. Regrettably, this season of rains has meant that they were unable to make their flight back from Bamako in time for this ceremony. I have not been able to receive yet a first-hand report of the situation. My instinct, though, is that we should call an immediate extraordinary emergency summit of the authority, which was responsible for ironing out the transitional arrangements, to decide on the way forward for ECOWAS and Mali. The community will be kept fully apprised of developments on this issue. Mr. Speaker, I must perforce comment also on border closures within the community. We must do our best to keep our borders open at all times to advance the integration objective. Closures impede the free movement of peoples and goods, which affect livelihoods. For us to enhance our fortunes, however, and make the gains from the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCTFA, beneficial for all, We must ensure that our borders do not become instruments of retrogression, especially now that our economies are dwindling due to multiple socioeconomic challenges as occasioned by COVID-19. It is wholly understandable that member states have concerns relating to the spread of the deadly virus, illegal movement of arms, ammunition, and drugs, and uncontrolled transhuman incursions. Notwithstanding, I call on all of us to find systemic measures to tackle these changes rather than temporary measures that can create further hardships for our peoples. Mr. Speaker, members of Parliament, your work as elected representatives demands voluntary sacrifice of personal interest in order to serve the community with ingenuity, efficiency, and dynamism. I urge you to enrich the reflections on regional integration through your discussions, particularly by bringing to the table the viewpoints of the populations that you represent. I have no doubt that our community's parliament will stand firm and faithful to this demand. Mr. Speaker, I want to affirm my confidence in this House and assure of my personal support, and at the same time, as the current chairman of the authority, of the support of the ECOWAS heads of state and government towards the realization of your mandate. My presence here today by your side at the opening ceremony of the 2021 First Ordinary Session of the Community Parliament is a reinforcement of our commitment to helping you to achieve your objectives of strengthening democracy and the development of our community. Whilst we know that we can count on the relevance of your deliberations and proposals, I would like to seize the opportunity of this formal opening ceremony of the parliamentary session to extend my heartfelt appreciation for your valuable contributions towards the good functioning of our community. I respectfully request all community institutions to pursue closer collaborations and relations for the harmonious development of our community. Monsieur le Président, je tiens à affirmer ma confiance en cette Assemblée et vous assurer de mon soutien personnel et en même temps en tant que président en exercice de l'autorité, du soutien des chefs d'État et des gouvernements de la CEDEAO envers la réalisation de votre mandat. Ma présence ici aujourd'hui à vos côtés, à la cérémonie d'ouverture de la première session ordinaire 2021 du statement in that other language of the community. Let me, in closing, assure the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia that Ghana will make a better presentation of her commitment to gender equality going forward. Accordingly, Right Honourable Speaker, Honourable Members of Parliament, I declare the first ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament for the year 2021 duly opened. I wish you all fruitful deliberations. Long live the ECOWAS Parliament. Long live our regional integration. Muito obrigado. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Our speaker will perform a ceremony first. While still standing, please, the Honourable Speaker has a little ceremony to perform. May I invite quickly the Minister of Foreign Affairs of State of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to come forward, please.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for that brilliant speech. To my voice, all honourable members of Parliament, thank you for this show of support and solidarity to the ECOWAS Parliament. And we thank you for your speech, sir. Sir, on behalf of all members of Parliament, the Secretary General, management and staff of ECOWAS Parliament, we would like to present a small gift to you in recognition of your support to this community parliament and for your leadership in the sub-region. We are so proud of you as members of Parliament. So the Minister will now present this to you, Your Excellency.
Next is the foreign affairs of the...
No. Wait, just easy.
Okay.
Can we take pictures first?
Okay.
The press? Yeah, you stand.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker.
Minister for Foreign Affairs, Republic of Ghana, please come forward.
Our Chair of Council of Ministers, I want to, on behalf of ECOWAS Parliament, all members of ECOWAS Parliament, the Secretary General and staff of the ECOWAS Parliament, present this gift to you for your support to ECOWAS Parliament and also the sub-region. As parliamentarians, we found out that since you took over as Chair of Council, we've seen a lot of progress in the integration process in our sub-region. Thank you very much. Thank you.
His Excellency, the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please, you are invited, sir.
Your Excellency, sir. This particular gift, you know, there are a lot of honorable members here who found it very, very difficult to come, including myself, because the decision to host this conference took place the very, very last minute. So we had issues with reservations for our MPs. But I said to myself that my honorable First Deputy Speaker and I will present this gift to you. So I would therefore call my First Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, the Right Honorable Ahmed Wasser, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of the National Assembly of Federal Republic of Nigeria, to please join me in presenting this gift to our brother, the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for his support to this Parliament. To you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Vice President.
May we invite the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia.
I will also invite the third Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament to please join me. Your Excellency, the Honorable Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, on behalf of my colleagues, the all honorable members of Parliament, the Secretary General and staff of ECOWAS Parliament, we are presenting this gift to you for your support to Parliament and support to the women of the sub-region. You are a champion for women empowerment in the sub-region. So this is in appreciation to your support to our mothers, to our sisters in the sub-region. Through my third Deputy Speaker, will present this gift to you.
Thank you.
The Vice President of the Republic of Liberia also has a present to offer to our Honorable Speaker.
Ah, really?
May all of the Liberian representatives to the ECOWAS Parliament please stand for a moment, please. Though we don't have the 30% minimum, but we should have 2 women at least amongst 5. Mr. Speaker, it is my distinguished pleasure on behalf of the Liberian delegation to congratulate you for your ascendancy as Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, in our respect and our regards. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much.
Yes, no, that one was for the one we gave was for the Foreign Affairs Minister. The first one, this is for the President of Ghana. Okay.
Your Excellency, the Chair of Authority, President of the Republic of Ghana. We have another present for you, sir.
Your Excellency, sir, you have been a savior for this region. And as representatives of the people of the community, we believe that with the kind of support we are getting from you, we should show appreciation. We want to give you as many gifts as possible. So again, in recognition of your support to this, for the community people, this time, not just the Parliament, but for the people of the sub-region, we present this gift to you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, there will be a joint press conference at the mini auditorium, so we'll proceed to that to have that joint press conference.